It still works. Not bad for a toy made back in 1996. That's what I call a good design. Hello, Baker Bears and STEM friends. Welcome back to the Baker STEM Lab. Sorta. Again, I know things are still weird. You know what else was really weird? Star Wars, when it first came out. The creator, George Lucas, had director friends, and they're like, George, what are you doing? This is not going so good. But he pushed through anyway, and he came up with what is now the most famous, amazing space fantasy series of all time. I say this because we're under difficult circumstances, as we all know, and there's two ways to handle it. We could cry about it, or we could find the problems and fix them. Remember, our number one rule in the Baker STEM Lab is to choose to use a positive attitude. And so no matter what circumstances we have, I'm going to do the best I can to reach out to you in fun, interesting, exciting STEM ways. Probably the most important thing I learned during first semester was communication, and the fact that it was difficult because we're all over the place. So everything STEM is in one place now, bit.ly/Baker STEM Lab. My video lessons are going to be there. My email is right there. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Save that link, favorite that link for future lessons, and then go ahead and scroll down to the very first lesson for January, which is going to be our animation creation lesson. I'm really looking forward to being able to do this both at home and here at school. You're going to need some paper and a pencil and a pair of scissors. That's it. And please remember to email me if you have any questions. This is actually, believe it or not, a TV remote that I got back in the 90s. Totally works. Wait. Don't go away yet. We still need to do our animation creation lesson. And then be sure to stay tuned to the very end where I'll show you the tips and tricks that I discovered while creating some new animations of my own.
Hi, it's Doug. When I was a kid, Saturday mornings were always my favorite. You know why? Because that's when all the best cartoons were on TV. I was a big fan of cartoons like Ghostbusters and Thundercats. You probably haven't even heard of those, but before there was the internet, Saturday morning was the time cartoons were on television. Someone named Azan has a question about cartoons. Let's give Azan a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Azan.
I have a question for you. What is the first cartoon?
That's a great question, and I know the perfect person to answer it. Her name is Brittany Thorson. She makes cartoons at Disney Animation. Let's give her a call now. Hi, Brittany.
Hey, Doug. I heard you had a question for me.
I do, and it's a good one. Azan wants to know, what was the very first cartoon?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'd be happy to help. Like a lot of you, I love cartoons, so I became an animator. An animator is somebody who takes the cartoons that you watch every day and bring them to life. At my job, I get to work on a lot of different animated shows and movies, and a few of them you might recognize here, like this one. Oh, and this one's one of my favorites. How about y'all? What are some of your favorite cartoons? But what about the first cartoon? What was that? Well, before video games and TVs and phones, a lot of people didn't know how to animate, and a lot of people didn't know how to make the pictures move. But still, they tried. Some of our ancestors drew pictures of animals on the inside of caves and tried to make it look like they were moving. Later on, people started to use shadows to tell stories. These shadow puppet shows were especially popular in places like China, India, and Iran. But cave drawings and shadow puppet shows weren't really cartoons. I mean, the shadow puppet shows weren't something you draw, and the cave pictures didn't really move, like the way they do in cartoons today. People just didn't know how to animate their drawings. That's because it hadn't been invented yet. But then, this happened. See how the horse seems to be running? This was a new invention called the Praxinoscope. And when it first came out, people were blown away. They wondered, how are these pictures moving? Praxinoscope means to trick the eye, and that's exactly what this toy is doing. It's spinning so fast that it tricks you into thinking you're only looking at one drawing. And since each drawing is a little different than the next, you think that it's one drawing that's moving. Now, the Praxinoscope was cool, but only one person could watch at a time. So inventors started thinking of new machines that can make animation even better. Check out this one. It's called a Praxinoscope. Since it was bigger, 2 or 3 people could watch at a time. Soon, inventors figured out ways to project animation onto a screen. Now, 10, 20, or even 50 people could watch at one time. These moving drawings of dogs jumping through hoops and clowns playing with hats were pretty amazing. But they were also kind of random, and sometimes, well, they weren't that interesting. Animators wanted to make their drawings even more exciting. One animator had an idea. While walking through a museum and looking at dinosaur skeletons, he started to think, dinosaurs are extinct. No one has ever seen a living dinosaur. All we have are their fossils. But animation? Whoa! Now that we know how to bring drawings to life, could we make it seem like we brought a dinosaur back to life? And better yet, what if I could tell a story about that dinosaur? His idea became Gertie the Dinosaur, the world's first cartoon, and the first time anyone saw a dinosaur come to life. Gertie the Dinosaur tells the story of a shy museum dinosaur, and just like today's cartoons, it had a character and a story. Gertie the Dinosaur was made in the same way cartoons are made today, by drawing thousands of pictures and then flipping through them quickly, a lot like the pictures on the early animation devices. Now that Gertie had come to life, a lot of other cartoon characters followed, like Felix the cat. And this mouse you may recognize. He's been famous ever since he was first created. Pretty soon, cartoons became longer and longer, and they turned into the animated movies you see today. But here's the thing. The longer the cartoon is, the harder it is to make. I mean, it took about 1 million drawings to animate The Lion King. But luckily, we have new technology in place to help us do our work more efficiently, like drawing some of the main pictures on a tablet and having a computer move the rest. In fact, a lot of cartoons you see today are made entirely on a computer, which helps me do my job even better. Animation has come a long way, from the animated toys that trick your eyes, to Gertie the Dinosaur, to all the great cartoons that you watch today. It's amazing to see how things have changed. Even so, one thing pretty much stayed the same. We all love watching characters come to life through animation. And that's all for this week's question. Thank you so much, Azon, for asking it.
In today's activity, you're going to learn how to fool your brain into thinking that a drawing is moving. Look closely at these 2 stick figure friends. Does it look like they're jumping up and down? They're not really jumping. Your brain is just being fooled. You can do this too with just about any drawing. We'll show you how to get started step by step. Get your supplies. You'll need a pencil, paper, and scissors.
Okay, to make our strips, we're going to take our paper and make sure it is vertical, tall and skinny, and I'm going to fold it like a hot dog bun. Does not need to be perfect because this is not origami. And then I'm going to open it back up and you'll see I have my hot dog bun here. I'm going to take this side and I'm going to line it up with the middle. I'm going to take the other side and line it up with the middle. I'm going to open it back up, and now how many strips do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And last, I'm going to take the bottom and the top together like this. So when you open it up, now we have 4 across the bottom and 4 across the top. Last, we're gonna take a pair of scissors, and this is all one strip. So I'm gonna cut right up the fold here. And now I've got 1 we're about to use and 3 more we can use later. And there we go. Okay, friends, with your strip, you'll notice there's a fold across the middle. So we have a box on top and we have a box on the bottom. And we're always gonna start in the bottom box. And that's because this drawing will get covered by this page. And so we wanna start on the bottom. And later, you can do whatever cool designs you want, but we're gonna start with something really simple so you will see how this works. And what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna draw at the bottom of this box, and I'm not gonna draw at the top of this box. I'm gonna draw in the middle, something about the size of my thumb, okay? And so I'm just gonna draw a stick person with arms going down, and of course a circle for a head. And that's about the size of my thumb. I've left space down below and space above. Now I'm gonna take this top half, I'm gonna fold it down, and you'll see that I can see the person a little bit through the paper there. Now, when you do cartoons, when you do animations, some parts stay the same and some parts change. So I'm gonna start right here at the waist. Sometimes I make points so I can see where I'm going. And now I can connect the dots for the legs. And then I see the neck, the body goes up to here. Okay, but I am not going to draw the arms going down. We've already done that. I'm gonna change the arms. So this time, I'm gonna make the arms go up. And now I'm gonna trace that head again. So the head is the same size as before. Okay, and I could come back later and add more details to it. But what I've done is I've created an animation. Check and see how it's kind of back and forth, back and forth.
This is one way that real cartoons are made. Artists start with a drawing like this, and then add other drawings that are changed just a little bit. When the pictures are flipped quickly, our eyes and brains are fooled. We think the person in the drawing is actually turning and looking in the other direction, even though it's just 2 drawings. It can be tricky to flip pictures like this, so we'll show you an easier way to do it in the next step.
Using your pencil and only using the top picture, not the bottom drawing, but the top drawing, I'm going to take the pencil here and I'm going to roll that top picture. Oops. Roll, roll, roll your picture all the way up the table. Okay, and then I'm going to use one hand to hold this paper in place and the other hand with the pencil. And check this out. Hey, everybody. And that's it. So now you know how to do this. You can do any kind of cool drawing you want. Just make sure you start at the bottom here. And then when you come to the top, make some of it the same, change something. When you're done with your cartoon, be sure to share it on Flipgrid. Just click on the link there and make sure you sign in with your Microsoft at students.cobk12.org account. And then for your reward, check out this amazing short, quick video that explains how the COVID-19 vaccine was made. It blew my mind. It's so cool. And then also check out the new Boston Dynamics robot dance. It is a great way to welcome 2021. Bad Bear! Baker Bear, Bad Bear! One of the things I love most about this design is how easy it is to hold. You don't need long hands or long fingers like mine. All you need to do is just hold the top. So I'm just gonna lay my finger across the top there and then slip the pencil in. And there you go. So cool. This is probably my favorite one because it is effective in the dog running. And it's just those two pictures. As the legs spread apart, the back goes down. And when the legs come together, the back arches up. You could do this with any animal, any four-legged animal. Now, I am not Miss McDowell, so this is not a beautiful horse, but I think it looks pretty cool when it's running like that. A couple of things you want to keep the same. I decided to keep the eye and the head the same, and I changed the curve of the back, and I changed the tail to show that it's in motion, that it's moving. Here you see that I used a pen. I definitely use a pencil first. Definitely want to draw with the pencil first because I do a lot of erasing and changing. And then once I like it, then I go back with the pen. And you also want to make sure you do the bottom picture first so you can lay the top one on it and line up the parts you want to line up. Here you see I kept the head the same. I kept the eye shape the same. I even kept the mouth the same. When I tried going sideways just to change it up, it's just harder to move back and forth like this. You'll find that if it gets tired and doesn't curl up the way it used to, you just roll it back up again. I like to let it sit there for a little bit and really get springy. I find that waving is another easy one, fun one to do. With this one, I tried to tell a story, but I learned that this area here is obviously covered by the pencil. So you definitely want to keep your drawing centered here. It does not really make sense that it would fall and then go back up again. So here we have our lovely Baker Bear. He's got his soap, washed his hands, and he's wearing a translucent face mask here. But what happens to the Baker Bear when he fails to wash his hands and wear a face mask? He turns into Bad Bear! Baker Bear, Bad Bear! Okay, time to apply some Georgia science standards to this STEM challenge. In kindergarten, we learned that stars twinkle. It's a dancing star. Look at it twinkle. Now, if you're third or fifth grade and you want to do an animal to demonstrate fossils or camouflage, or show examples of inherited behaviors, remember there's only two pictures here. And so it needs to be something that's going to happen back and forth, over and over again. Looks like I need to fix the eyes a little bit. Hummingbirds, I shall sip nectar from this flower in a silent ballet. Woodpeckers, I'ma stab the bugs out of this tree with my face knife. First and fourth grades, I reveal how bad I am at drawing trees in this one, but I thought it'd be fun to do a light, and even I could add some sound effects to it, to this one. So let's see how this goes. Lightning part's cool, tree not so much. Anyway, do better. I've got a little cheat here for you, and this is actually what the pros do. On your device, it doesn't matter which kind of device, you're just gonna go to Google and Google how to draw a horse. And then obviously there's different levels here. I'm not ready for that one yet. So I just chose this cute little simple one here. And I notice if I put my paper over, I can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I can definitely see what's happening here. But it's too small. Just start on the same page here, and I'm just gonna pinch apart. If your device lets you do that, and I can adjust the size the way that I want. Now, obviously, when I touch the screen, it does that. You can screenshot it if you happen to have a device that does that. So now it's a photo, so it'll move, but it doesn't disappear. And that's pretty close. And that's all I need. Now, I don't want a standing horse. I want a running horse, right? So I'm just going to take these legs and I'm just going to spread them out.
So I'm going to, like this. And do the same thing with the other one.
This time I'm going to change the bottom. I put them closer together. And another one over there. And you'll notice the top is pencil because I want to make sure it looks the way I want it to before I trace it with the pen. And sure enough, yay!
Now is your opportunity to be creative. You could draw a ball bouncing like this. Or draw a stick figure friend doing something totally different. Or take one of the 3 strips we already made, cut one out, and draw anything you can imagine.